Hey everybody, and welcome. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself out there. Welcome to the Crypto Night Show. Now, we've rebranded the channel from Hex Token Channel, which has been like that maybe 3 or 4 years, something like that, maybe longer, I don't know, but probably 3 or 4 years. So now we're just broadening out the coverage on the channel. We obviously, crypto show is going to be on every day, or at least virtually every day, and then we'll be covering a lot of non-crypto topics like politics, and sports and other things like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And let's get into it. We got Fast Abdul in the house there. Shocking. Yeah, Fast Abdul likes the shocking there. We got Hexagrader in the house as well. Hey, yeah, good to see you, Hexagrader. Hope you're doing well too. Electrifying. I like it. Big welcome, of course, to the Crypto Night Show. Now, the Discord's also been changed. So Discord also got the Crypto Night Show as well. We'll be making a few changes and bringing a few features to the show also. So it's going to be fun coming up as well. Big shout out to Wookie for the help with setting up the new branding and some of the new features that we're going to have in the future. A new beginning. May the force be with us. Indeed, Wookie. Indeed. Great stuff there. All right, let's get into the markets. It is Monday here down under in New Zealand, and it is midday. So 24th of February. Let's kick into it. I know it's still the 23rd up in the north. But yeah, it's not too bad. You'll be in the future soon enough. Of course, it'll be a fool's game because we'll still be in the future there. Let's get into it, and we're going to cross over to the markets. Now, obviously, we got Bitcoin there at $95,925. So it's just under 96K, basically, down 0.8%. Bitcoin dominance at 58.69% at the moment. And let's just refresh this. So that's Bitcoin. So Bitcoin dominance just dropping a little bit there. Ethereum, though, having a real strong move despite the big hack that we're going to talk about in a minute. $2,810, up 1.5%. So nice little strong move there on Ethereum. BNB is down 2.4%, $655. Solana down 3%, $167. We've got XRP down 0.5%, $2.57. We do have some green, though. Before we do that ADA is down 1%, 76 cents, and BNB, which I talked about, down 2.4% at 655. We do have some green though. Tron is up 3.8%, and Litecoin is up 1.8%. So some nice little moves there amongst the crypto. Let's jump over to Bitcoin. This is the hourly chart for Bitcoin. So we just basically we were riding around about 96K, and then we fell off there all the way down to about 95,274. We're starting to make a rally in the last 6 or 7 hours, back up to 96K. So can't keep a good thing down. Let's have a look at the daily one there. That's the hourly chart for Bitcoin. Let's reset the chart as well. And we can see that we are just below the 50-day moving average. That's that yellow line. That's the 50-day moving average. It's currently at 97,678. And we're just below that at $96,040. The 200-day moving average still moving up, even though it's flattening out a little bit, is at 85,568. That's the 200. That's in blue, and we're still running out this golden cross, right? So not too bad there. We're obviously still got a few days left in the month to get a green February. February is normally one of the 2 most greenest months for crypto. At the moment, we're still negative, so we've still got about 5 days to pull off a green month there. So fingers crossed we can get a little breakout there to the upside. That is a Bitcoin, but of course Ethereum is the one that's getting a bit of love today. It did get a big sell-off here way back here on the 21st, sold off from $2,846 all the way down to $2,615. This is on the hourly chart here, and then has managed to rally all the way back up to $2,810. Not bad, eh? Not bad. Recently been as high as $2,831 as well. So Ethereum there making a bit of a bounce there on the hourly. Looking to the daily for Ethereum. We're going to have to reset this chart again. We can see that we've got a death cross here. This is back on the 13th of February. And that was a Thursday. It wasn't a Friday. And of course, we've actually just got a little bit of rise here, haven't we? Despite the big hack that happened, right? So we're going to talk about that. $2,811. Let's see whether this death cross can be short-lived and we can get a golden cross, which is really what I'm expecting to see moving forward for Ethereum there, moving into a golden cross. So fingers crossed there. If we get a strong end of February, that'd be pretty cool. And as you guys know, I'm very bullish about the February, March, April February, of course, under those expectations at the moment. But we've still got 5 days, so we'll see how we go. All right, so what was the big drama around Ethereum? Obviously, there was some big hack of Bybit there in, was it in South Korea, I think it was. North Korea cyber criminals are feared to have carried out the worst hack in history after a 1.19 billion or 2.36 billion crypto ice was uncovered. Hackers were able to gain control of the Ethereum wallet and rip up all its contents in a shock theft. Dubai-based Bybit exchange, not South Korea, Dubai exchange confirmed the record-breaking crypto theft. Fraudsters were able to access the wallet and transfer the contents to an unidentified address there. Blockchain analyst from Arkham Intelligence has now accused North Korea's Lazarus Group of being behind the hack. The firm posted on social media that one of its trusted online sleuths gave them definite proof that hackers were from the infamous North Korea hacking group. Despite Arkham's claims, the perpetrators are yet to be confirmed. Chief executive of Bybit, Ben Zhao, shared a statement on X after the costly incident. Bybit is solvent, even if the hack loss is not recovered. So they have a one-to-one backing of all their collateral. So that's good news there. I think they got 20 billion under management. So not bad, not bad. So there we go. That is where that lined up, and the market seems to have absorbed that issue. Now, are we in altcoin season? Not quite yet. We're still in kind of Bitcoin season. We're down to 35 here, so this is on the 3-monthly altcoin season. It is not altcoin season, as we know. We're all waiting for it, and I know it's going to come. On the month, we're still in the Bitcoin as well, and on the yearly as well. So no Bitcoin season quite yet at the moment. So that's our quick market update at the moment. But we're going to get into Richard Hart and the future of Pulsechain. It will shock you because I think there's lots of fundamentals coming up for Richard Hart. So that's going to be really fun to see them play out. The timing, of course, is always the difficult question. Probability of an event is kind of the first thing you try to work out, and then the timing, right? That's the timing, and that's always even more difficult, generally speaking. We've got Craig Pitt in the house there. Love the name. I appreciate that. Yeah, the new name of the show, of course, the Kryptonite Show, and your host is Superman. And it all makes sense, doesn't it? A bit crazy rebel brand there. I like it, and we're going to be covering lots of cool topics during the day as well, and during the week. All right, so let's get into it. The future of Pulsechain, and of course, we're going to have a look a little bit at some recent events that we've had, and the first one, of course, is some recent moves that Richard's team has done. And that is, first of all, well, this is not even related to Richard's teams, but Pulsechain developers. We've got quite a few Pulsechain developers on Pulsechain, always building out, different projects, whether it be memes, whether it would be GameFi, whether it be DeFi. And of course, that's really exciting to see. So they continue to add value and excitement to the chain. There's definitely a increased value in the chain. We've seen the fees get more valuable, paying more costs on Pulsechain and PulseX. So we're definitely getting a maturity in the chain as well. So that's pretty exciting as we get closer and closer to 2 years of Pulsechain being live. Right, I think we're about 80 days away, something like that. So very exciting now. Tri-stables. Now we've seen Tri-stables launch, of course. So Tri-stables on Pulsechain, that was the stablecoin USDC, USD Tether, and Dime, and you can earn a pretty handsome return there on those, and that's sitting around. I'm just going to show you that actually, just so you see what I mean. So we're going to that's giving a pretty good return on PulseX for stable coins. Basically a good way of attracting capital. So that's definitely sitting there, and it's a pretty nice yield compared to a lot. So if we go to the info tab here on PulseX, then we can see the stables here, right? So stables on the third tab, we've got V1, V2, and stables, and we can see USDC, DAI, and Tether there, and pretty nice yield. Now the yield moves around a lot, so the yield at the moment is 4.1%, but that can be up at 12% or so. Just moves around a bit there at the moment, but that's pretty awesome. And we're still quite a bit of capital in there as well. Has a lot of volume, so $30 million in volume, and just ticking away there at the moment. So that's been quite a good addition there from the team. Very clever there as well. You can see the prices there, 99 cents, $1.99 there for the respective stable coins, which has been pretty good. We can see in liquidity's been pretty good as well, and volume there as well has been pretty good recently also. So that's been a pretty good addition that Richard Hart's team has put in on Pulsechain. So not bad. We got Wookie says hit the likes and let's blast off 100%. Smash the likes, share the channel around as well. We got Larry in the house there. Yo, good to see you, Larry. welcome. And yeah, yo, yeah, that's the right one with the exclamation mark there. Nice to see you, and welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and of course share the channel around today. So you guys are the first audience to enjoy the new show, rebranding the Kryptonite show. So welcome everybody. All right, so that's the tri-stables from Richard Hart. That's been recent moves, been pretty cool. The incentive inflation cut 20x. So now inflation for PulseX incentive farms. So we go to V1. If you provide liquidity under certain peers on V1, then you get a farming reward in addition to the LP rewards, right? Which is pretty cool. And you can find the top pools down here. And of course, you can get involved in that. Now, we've got the farm over here for V1 LP pools. And the farms here generating a yield. They have now only 5% of the amount of incentive token is being paid for farmers, right? So you get the LP fees providing LP. And then in addition to that, if you put your LP tokens in these farms, you earn an incentive token, right? So we can see the inflation now is 0.03 incentive token per second, which is pretty crazy. That's gone down dramatically, 20x. So only 5% of the inflation rate that it was before. And what's that happened? That's reduced the APR. That's like your flat interest that you earn in a year. And you can see that all the different ones here. So DAI from Ethereum matched with Pulsechain, the main coin, is 9.5%. That's the best rate there. And you've got the other ones, USDC, WrapD, and USD Tether, all bridged in from Ethereum, matched with Pulsechain at 7%, 4%, and 8% respectively for those. Now, in terms of the Richard Hart coins, Pulsex here, you got that at 1/3%. And likewise, you got 2/3 for Hex Pulse, 2/3 for Incentive Pulse, and 1/3 for a percent for Incentive PulseX there. Now, the liquidity's gone down, I think around about $40 million. No, sorry, 40%, sorry, of the liquidity's gone down. I did post some numbers in Discord, so you can check that out. It's been a while since I added it up, but we might add that up for another show. But that's just showing you that the liquidity has thinned out, and that means that the price can go up or down a lot easier, and that means that it's going to be interesting to see that play. Now, remember, this is Hart's law. And of course, Pulse goes up, then that's like the ocean, and all the other tokens on Pulsechain are like ships on the ocean, so they all go up and down with the Pulse. And of course, if your token changes ratio with Pulse, then that can go up even faster or down even faster. So that's how that works. And of course, now with thinner liquidity, we can go up or down faster because of the constant function that Uniswap that PulseX is based on. So PulseX is based on the V2, which basically means that it goes up as a square, right, in value. So you can pump the tokens very easily, much easier now, but you can also sell them off easier as well. So that is where we're at the moment on that. So we got that incentive token cut down, which means that incentive tokens in some ways got more value. And so we're going to see what that looks like in the future, where the market heads with that. The other thing is that it could be part of the future items coming up, which I'm going to cover shortly. So we've got the incentive token. We also got PulseX Farms, LP thinner, which I just talked about. So obviously the pools have got thinner, about 40% last time we checked of the amount of dollars that were in those pools. So it's definitely, and that money has to go somewhere, right? Has to go somewhere. So that is the case too. And then we got Pump Tires, right? This was kind of took everybody off guard. Pump Tires was launched, and it's added a lot of pumpermentals to Pulsechain, right? So we're going to have a look at Pump Tires, and we can see Pump Tires here has added a lot of, like, basically anybody can create a token, and you can just create one there, and it will launch the activity. I'm not sure why it's not showing anything here at the moment, but you can launch the activity there just by creating a token. Everyone can do that. Pump Tires so that is operating at the moment. Not sure why it's not rendering any of the tokens, but you can create a token there as well. Pretty easy to do, and everybody can do it. And a lot of people have been playing this, right? Creating a tokens. Now, when it gets to the king of the hill, gets to the top one, which I think was at about $35,000 worth, something like that. You can check me on that one. But then it goes to PulseX. It gets loaded up on PulseX, right? So that's kind of cool. You can read all about that. So Pump Tires, and that came out of the blue. Very meme coin orientated, one would say, and that has helped to increase volumes. So it's increased volumes for Pulsechain because there's more transactions on Pulsechain. and more volumes there on the EIP 1559, and so it's burning a lot more pulse. Therefore, validators are getting more. So that's kind of cool. Increases the pressure on validator prices. So we're seeing things get more expensive. The gas or beats go up on Pulsechain, making it a more expensive chain. And also it turns over more volume for Pulsex. And so Pulsex is burning Pulsex even faster as well, and therefore implies more value arguably for the incentive token from that source as well. So it's a triple winner on that point of view. And we've definitely seen some impact from that. Now, so we're going to see how that sustains over time, but that's definitely been a big mover there, and something very left field from Richard there, given his past views on meme coins. But of course, the market's changed, and Richard adapts with it, and so it was an easy way to get all those benefits and just go where the market's kind of going as well. So pretty cool little move there. Now there are some technical issues and some wallets, some things don't work quite well, and so you've got to be careful on it. Sometimes people can issue coins and the coins don't hit the market properly. So there's been a few little issues around that. All right, let's see in the future moves. So this is really getting to the heart now. So we've had sort of those recent moves, future moves, future of Pulsechain. Woohoo! It's going to shock, I think, for sure. Now we don't know the timing of all these things. We don't know whether they're all going to happen necessarily. So there is uncertainty, but these are the sort of things that we are expecting, reasonably to happen. So let's get into this. We've got a list, I think, 9 or 10 things here. So this is the future moves here at the moment. So the Signum Oracle. This is not Richard Hart, but this is a big deal. This is Stu. So Stu's setting this up. This is expected to go to live today, potentially. If not, it might slip into tomorrow, but we are still on track for this week. US time, I think it is, not Kiwi time. We're already on Monday, but this is very imminent. Let's say the team is trying to get Signum Oracle up and running. So if you remember, Liquid Loans was going to do Fetch Oracle, and they didn't succeed with that. But Signum Oracle is coming. This is a fundamental piece of infrastructure for Pulsechain, and particularly around price calls, price information, non-price information, and of course other tools like random number generators understand it will be able to produce as well. So this is a big deal for Pulsechain. This could potentially unleash even more Pulsechain developers. We've got that on recent moves. Obviously, Pulsechain developers have been doing stuff for months and months and months, whether it's meme coins, DeFi, GameFi, whatever. But this Signum Oracle is going to open up a whole ton of more protocols and more complicated protocols as well, given the features it's going to have, and therefore have very robust pricing systems. So that's going to be really important. We already know people like Jacob, who's the #1 peer-to-peer blockchain dev in the world. He is looking forward to this to get price calls and random number generators for PUSD ALGO, potentially applying it to Mafia as well. His Mafia game, which is the #1 GameFi on Pulsechain, #1 metaverse and NFT marketplace as well. And so Signum Oracle is coming, and so we're expecting that. This is Signum Oracle on a test net, but we're expecting this to potentially go live today. That's kind of when I asked Stu yesterday. He said that things are on track for this week, so there's still a bit of time to go. So we're expecting that probably within the next 24 hours, let's say. So that is going to be huge. I will be covering that and hopefully getting an interview with Stu. He has kind of agreed to that, so check out for that as soon as that's up. That interview probably maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Let's see how that goes. So that is Signum Oracle. That is a huge piece of infrastructure. Cannot understate that. Obviously, Ethereum and other chains have their own infrastructure like that, like Link and things. So we're waiting for that. That's going to be huge. That is imminent, pumpamental Pulsechain, and it's going to be really good, opening up all the developers and bringing new developers as well. So it's going to be pretty good. Now, the next one is Pulsechain developers boom. Obviously, on the back of that, GameFi, DeFi, and potentially a killer app with a Signum Oracle, where it could potentially open up protocols with killer apps on it. And of course, that means if you saw on Base Chain, they had that killer app where influencers were able to, issue their own stock, and people were able to buy and sell that. And that went crazy. It went viral, right? Well, we could get something quite like that on Pulsechain. And that would be pretty huge. So it's going to open up some big stuff there. We know we've got lots of cool devs like Dipcatcher out there. He could definitely use this for a lot of protocols. So it's going to be pretty neat to see that. There's so many devs out there that will look forward to that. So that's going to be a Pulsechain boom. That adds a lot more volume onto Pulsechain, a lot more activity, a lot more value. And so therefore, Pulse becomes more valuable, PulseX, etc. So that's going to be really, really cool. So looking forward to that. And we've got a couple of people in the chat there, so we're going to quickly say hello to them. We've got Conspiracy Crypto in the house there. What's up, family? Hey, good to see you. Welcome. I love your profile picture there. It's very cool. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, everybody, if you're new to the channel. We've got Hexavator in the house there. Pump it, pump it. And we got what's that? Wookie says dig it or pump it. We've got Tintop as well in the house there. What's up, Hexkins? What's up, Tintop? Good to see you as well. So nice. All right, let's get into the third one there. SEC case victory. Well, we're waiting. We're still waiting. We thought within 90 days we're going to hear about the SEC case against Richard Hart, Pulsechain, PulseX, and X. But I'm not aware of anything out so far. And so let's go quickly check that as well. Let me just see here. I thought I had the system up here. So this is the court listener. We're tracking the court case. Nothing there yet. So very surprising here. And I'm not aware of anybody else knowing anything else about it. So weird. Is the judge waiting for the change in the U.S. administration under the Trump administrator there? So SEC already dropped the Coinbase case, right? And without prejudice, with prejudice, so it means it can't be refiled. So Coinbase there, that is gone. People are ramping up XRP, for example, with value as well. So is this what the judge is waiting for? Are they actually going to give a decision, or are they going to maybe let it be withdrawn or something like that? I don't know, with prejudice. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But that is where we're at on that one. And what I was going to say is that, before this point, we expected like at least a 75% chance of it being dropped anyway, regardless of the SEC change, because it was such a weak argument, and Richard's lawyers were the best of the best, and they absolutely slammed the case. So we gave it a pretty strong rating, 75% chance of victory there, and of course that would be a massive pump for Pulsechain. That would mean that people that are worried about court cases and things like that are willing to bring their capital back over the chain. Remember, we lost like $40 million, if I remember rightly. That could all start flooding back, right? And of course, capital that floods back like that has massive impacts on leverage, because obviously there's less supply around these days. There's more diamond hand holders around these days, and of course, if you start pumping that chart, it's really going to really go for gold, right? So yeah, we got rid of a lot of weak hands, and so the chart could really start to go up, especially now that liquidity's been thinned out. And that interesting timing between thinning out liquidity with Richard Hart is also indicative of potentially the SEC case, right? So maybe because he's obviously maybe made no stuff through his lawyers, or however that's progressing. So that could be pretty interesting, the timing of that. And of course, Richard posted out some posts on X, sort of hinting that things could really move with the Hart law, and of course that leverage, as a square. So getting pretty bullish there. SEC approach drops lawfare. So if the SEC, of course, and it's already indicated that the new SEC is really dropping Coinbase deals, and of course ending its lawfare really. And with prejudice, basically there's no refiling of that either under any other new SEC. So it's pretty much killing off a lot of these cases for the future. And this is massive, right? Moving to clarity with regulation, and of course we know that the Trump administration wants America to be the number one in crypto, and of course it's going to be crypto friendly with regulations, and of course just do what the law says, really, not making up its own laws, just actually doing what the Congress has made in their laws. And yeah, it's going to be pretty bullish. So these are all very, very cool things for Pulsechain to really flourish, having a good regulatory environment. Single side staking, we may see that single side staking on PulseX has been there for a long time, right? But we have not seen it. And so, are we going to see single side staking here? We shall see, right? So we haven't got it yet, and people suspected that we might get it, 60 to 80 days or something like that after PulseX launch, but we never saw it, right? So is that going to come to market? Because that'd be an easy way when you've got, obviously, you've burnt off a lot of PulseX already, and you've got inflation cut down on incentive token. Then you could do some sort of single side staking, right? And that could be lots of things. Could be third party, could be something that Richard Hart's set up, and that would get rid of a lot of supply and also add a lot of demand onto incentive now that you've cut inflation by by 20x. That's a massive cut, and we've got about 55 million incentive tokens, right? So that could be pretty bullish, and then bigger players come in as well to purchase that up there. Right? You get more use cases for it, especially with single side staking, and it could have different forms, right? Rather than just little incentives, could have quite significant incentives there. PDI maker theory. Now, obviously, there's a lot of evidence going around for that. So, obviously, when Pulsechain was copied, it was copied as a fork of Ethereum on the 10th of May, 2023. And of course, when that was copied over, it copied over all the smart contracts on Ethereum over to Pulsechain. And of course, there's a lot of evidence about those contracts, Maker and Compound, other protocols like that being, Aave being starting to be set up with these wallets from the Genesis wallet. So when you first do the launch Pulsechain, you have a Genesis block, and that Genesis block has the rate of inflation and all that sort of stuff in it. And so yeah, we've got these other contracts. And we also had this AMM bot at the beginning, right, when PulseX was being set up. So when PulseX was being set up, AMM bot came in and purchased all the peers and set up all the liquidity and kicked it off, which meant that the Genesis wallet was really a kingpin on Pulsechain. And then of course it started doing all these activities behind the scenes around these copied contracts, these most valuable contracts on Ethereum, like Maker, for example, with its stablecoin and stuff like that, like PDI. So yeah, are we going to see that come to market ramped up soon? Now, we have seen a push by people in the community to set up a Maker website and get votes on that. Will that play any role? I don't know. Richard typically does things by himself, but you just never know. He may have to set up where he goes along with that. We shall see. Question marks over there, but that's definitely a lot of good evidence for that theory, and it makes a lot of sense. Why does it make a lot of sense? Because they could add a lot of tens of billions of value on the Pulsechain, potentially with leverage into the hundreds of billions, and so that's potentially a massive route to super value on Pulsechain and getting Pulsechain into one of the most valuable chains on the planet. In fact, we know Richard likes to go to number one, so it could very well help make that happen. So I'm pretty, I think that's a good argument, good thesis, as we would say, and there's a lot of good evidence for it. So we'll be looking for that as well. Now, how would they collateralize that? Well, potentially with the Richard Hart coins, right? So that's the other thing with the Richard Hart coins. They may very well see those get collateralized in there, right? So that is where we could see massive pump handles, and that would shock the market. That would shock the market if we see these contracts get realized, and suddenly we get a PDI on Pulsechain. This is not DAI on Ethereum, which we call eDAI, but PDI, what we call DAI on Pulsechain. It was a copied over, and of course it's been sitting about 1.5 cents, something thereabouts at the moment. And if that ended up getting suddenly either incrementally very quickly or just suddenly peaked, probably incremental, maybe we'll see. It's a difficult thing to pull off, but if that suddenly got collateralized with a lot of Pulsex and Hex and things like that from the Genesis wallets, that could be huge, right? Because they control, most of the supply. So most of the supply of Pulse, is controlled by Genesis sacrifice wallets, and that would be massive, right? So we're talking. I think it was about 92% or something like that for Pulse. I think it was about 98, 85, 86% for Pulsex. That's all gone up these days. That percentage, that was the starting value, and so on. So, and of course, all the Hex as well. So this could be huge and help to collateralize that peg. So we shall see. And of course, opening it up for the retail book also to participate in that collateral could be huge as well. Take supply of the market and may support that. So that theory, we're going to see if it plays out or not. Still question mark, but makes a lot of sense there, because there could be massive re-rate in the asset value and the leverage value on Pulsechain, and making Pulsechain one of the most valuable chains on the planet. So that could be pretty impressive. Now, there's also the Magic Cart Ride. This is all the sacrifice money that was turned into Ethereum, and so that is in there, and we've got a little look at that. So let's have a look at that at the moment. So that is currently sitting here. It's currently worth $483 million US. It is down 162 million. So you can argue the timing of Richard Hart with this, with the transfer timing. He bought in on an average price of $3,773, or whoever controls the sacrifice wallet, and the current ETH price is $2,824. So that's out of the money about what, $900 or something like that, and per ETH. And so that's where it's sitting. So obviously nothing's probably going to happen now we're 25% down. But if this gets into the money, if ETH gets that big rally that people are expecting, so at the moment we're $2,800. If we get up to, I don't know, $5,000, you know, the old all-time high was 4,900 for ETH in the last bull market. We get up to, you know, get up to a 10,000 or even 5,000. We may see some moves happen with this, and maybe that helps collateralize the P-die maker theory, or maybe it just helps to go into Pulsechain and pump up some of the prices now that the liquidity's been thinned off, right? Particularly targeting either incentive token or Pulsechain or Pulsex. So we could see some pretty interesting. There's different arguments for each of those, but obviously the thinnest pair. We could also see Hex be the leader as well. Hex being relatively smaller liquidity, and that could really get pumped to all highs, and then therefore bring a lot of capital in that way as well. So there's a couple of different arguments there that could be had about the use for this. So P-die maker theory, or pump some of their RH tokens, particularly incentive token for the farms, which now got, you know, very small LP, and of course very small inflation, I should say, and or Pulse or Pulsex there. So different arguments for that one. So that is some of the stuff there could come as well, and we're excited to see where that heads. Now that would obviously turn this amount of money. You know, if it was a starting value of 645, let's say we get to break even, and we do a 2-3x of Ethereum. Then that would get us, you know, to $2 billion or so. So you're talking about some big money, and that can have, remember, it goes up at a square on Pulsex there. So yeah, what is the most efficient use? If the P-die maker theory is true, it'd probably be that would make a lot more sense. But of course, then you could also use it, tag team it, split it up, and do multiple purposes, maybe even buying RH coins, right, to push the market up. Particularly, you want to focus on incentives, so you drive behavior as well at the same time. You don't just want to push your price up, you also want to drive behavior. So incentive token would make a lot of sense there too. And Pulse, because Pulse is the ocean, right? Lift the ocean, and everything else starts rallying, right? So that's kind of play there. Now let's have a look at the next one there. We've got new protocol linked to Pulsex. We could see another protocol that Richard's been working on with his teams that could come onto Pulsex, and this could be a third-party developer even that's associated some way, and we could see that come to Pulsex. And of course, that could be massive, right? That to eat up a lot of supply, particularly targeting RH coins. And so we could see that absolutely reduce the supply, increase the demand as well, in addition to all these other pumpermentals that are sitting there, right? So that could be massive too. And there's all sorts of things that could come there. And of course, with Richard Hart's name on it, that could be massive, right? That could be massive. We've got some more comments in the chat here. We've got Francia in house here. Good to see you, Francia. And we also got Genuine as well. Hi, everybody. Good to see you, Genuine. We've got Brian, our community leader in house. What's up, folks? Good to see you, Brian. Hope you're doing well, mate. And Creepy Coin, hello. Hey, Creepy Coin, looking good. Who else has jumped in here? Brennan, our TA guru in house there. I'm here for the Kryptonite. I love it. Yeah, you guys are the first audience for our new show. And of course, we rebranded the channel and now called the Kryptonite Show. And so it's really great to have everybody here. While you're here, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell. And look forward to our diverse programming that we're going to have on this channel. We're going to have a lot more features as well, some real nice surprises coming up in the future. So we're working on that. So yeah, it's going to be really good. We're going to be talking about crypto with our regular crypto program, but we're also going to be doing non-crypto like politics and sports and other things like that. So it's going to be a fun channel. Yeah, and if you want to join our strategy club for crypto, that's the link there. Only $35 a month, and we're putting a lot of great intel in there. So definitely get on that one. Big shout out from Francia. Hi all, good. That's nice to see. Loving those shades, of course, there, Francia. All right, Hexox says my cage is made of kryptonite. Very cool. I just realized I'm your host, Superman, so you can see my old name down there as well. All right, so let's move on to the next one. We've got Richard Hart streams. What happens if Richard Hart streams? Whoa. Now, I'm not expecting him to necessarily stream regularly like he used to do, but because his life's changed and things change. But imagine if he streams, that'd be crazy. And of course, just a regular stream would be great, and people would love that. Now he's got 150,000 subscribers on YouTube. He has probably easily the highest engagement of any influencer out there in crypto. I don't think anybody has the engagement. Any founder, any influencer, no matter how big they are, has the level of engagement, percentage of engagement that Richard has. It really is incredible what he's able to attract. And I always see him as the rebel founder. He's always the rebel founder. And of course, he's protected a lot of people. People often say, his price calls are really good. But I really think his market calls are just the best. almost like a clairvoyant there. He's like he has picked off so many of the things that fallen in the market, like nobody else, nobody even comparable. So we could see some massive things there with Richard Hart streams. So pretty cool if that happened, right? Now, number 10, community growth. We could see some massive community growth. We're already seeing it. I think we're kind of getting a more mature chain. We're getting a lot more activity, and things are just being added one after another. Have you noticed? So if we go back to his recent moves, we've got Pulsechain developers doing stuff all the time. Richard notices those things, right? We've got tri-stables being set up with stable coins and good yields on those. We've got incentive inflation cut 20x. We've got PulseX farms, LP thinner, numbers we can go up faster at a square value. We've got pump tires benefiting all Richard Hart tokens, right? More pulse fees, higher pulse fees, more volume on PulseX, more buy and burn on PulseX, and just benefiting the whole system there. Also catering to that meme market that people like, and there's been also been chance to profit from there. Now community growth there. Obviously, as we get more and more of these things, the community is just going to get bigger. So we talk about all these incentives and these pumpamentals, these DeFi and GameFi things, but the community will just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and therefore we'll have big volumes of turnover like we see on base chain, Ethereum, and things like that. Solana, and of course, it's going to be pretty exciting. Now, one thing that Pulsechain does have as well is a very dedicated set of influencers. As well as community, what are called community, ambassadors, as we say. But I went through last night with Wookie in the Discord, went through a lot of the top streamers. These are people in the top one there. And I think we saw about probably 70% of them still streaming, either regularly, which is pretty cool to see. It's about 70% of the top streamers there. Only probably 30% have stopped streaming, some for over a year and stuff like that. But other than that, still pretty strong, actually. Big shout out to some of those. Of course, Crypto Coffee out there doing a great job. He streams regularly. Probably for me, based on all the metrics, probably the biggest streamer out there for Pulsechain, all things considered. Obviously, there's some other big ones out there like Somi. And then of course we get into other ones. We've got a Crypto Heartbeat out there, Brandon, formerly Rags to Riches, and we've even got people in the UK like C7 still going. Who else? There's quite a few out there that are still doing a lot of streams, so it's kind of neat to see. So we could see a whole streamer boom as well coming along with that community growth as people get attracted to successful chains, which is pretty exciting. Now, one of the wild cards I haven't got on this list is maybe Richard set up even some commercial plays. We haven't really seen a lot of those. I'm expecting commercial plays for the X1 chain by Jack Levin, but maybe something like that could be coming down the line as well, where we get something big, like one of the big networks like a Google or something. You just never know. So we'll keep a lookout for that. But that there is the future of Pulsechain. I think we're going to get some pretty exciting stuff there. Leave a comment after the video if you've got any other further pumpamentals you see that will shock the market there. Because I think it's going to be pretty exciting to see some of these things roll out. Brennan says, is ETH a kryptonite at the moment? Well, it doesn't appear to be. It seems to be going up there, Brennan. That's the sense of today. So I hope you enjoyed that pumpamentals list there of Richard Hart. And of course, Richard Hart has been a lot more vocal on X, which has been really exciting to see. Now, I'm going to get into the results today for day 653 on Pulsechain. We've got Pulse at the moment at quadruple 0437, down 6.5% at 44% of the main sacrifice price. So still a wonderful entry here on Pulsechain before all those pumpamentals that I talked about potentially coming to reality. Pulsex at the moment, quadruple 0355, down 5.6%. And we've got the total supply of the buy and burn at the moment at 1.28 trillion. Pulsex has been bought up and burned by the market. And based on a lot of those recent pumpamentals that I talked about as well, as how lift that number, we're at 6.44% now of Pulsex is bought up and burned and gone forever. Incentive token Turtles 31, down 7.25% at the moment. And that is the ratio is at just under 53,000 Pulse, which is still pretty strong. Still liking that number. Like I say, the inflation is down 20x. It's only 5% what it used to be. And the supply is only 55 million approximately. So that is not inflating very fast anymore. So imagine if you had staking or collaterals with the PDI maker theory, some of those new initiatives that I talked about coming into market, eating up the supply and adding extra demand. Things turn around very, very fast. and then you also lift the value of Pulsechain. So you lift the value of Pulsechain, the water goes up, the ocean goes up, and all these ships, the PulseX incentive, all these ships that are on there get supply sinks, and they just go up with the water. And then, of course, maybe they go into plane territory, start flying away. We got Hex at the moment, 1.3 cents is down 4%, and EHEX is at 32 hundredths of a penny. Combined price EX and PX is 1.6 cents. This is really just winding up for that next big move for Hex with the smaller liquidity volume as well. So look forward to some big things there with Hex moving forward there. Definitely multiple dollars for Hex in this bull market. Seem very realistic as well, especially with all those fundamentals I outlined. Now, obviously, if Ethereum and Ethereum and Bitcoin do their rally as well, then that's sitting underneath all those fundamentals. So all those fundamentals were in addition to the market having its big bull market, right? So that's in addition to that. So you can quickly see how value gets very big, very fast. Now, gas prices, we talked about this. Richard Hart has talked about this. He said as the chain gets more valuable, prices will go up, the GWEI will go up. And of course, we've seen that. We're now up to 4.3 million beats. We used to be down at like 200, 300,000 beats. We're now being regularly into the multi-million beats. Well, this is the GWEI basically. And we're now at 7 cents for a Pulsex swap at the moment today. So the chain is just sneaking up there, getting more valuable as people demand it more and use it more, right? All the different applications, whether they be bots or whether they be protocols, it doesn't matter. It's getting more valuable that way. And Ethereum at the moment is 1 GWEI, and we're 15 times cheaper than Ethereum. So there's a bit of a convergence going on there as well. Well, Ethereum is being underused in that sense. Validators at the moment 46,628. So those have pretty much staying strong there. And the bridge, which we're watching, the bridge is kind of the heartbeat of Pulsechain. Kind of gives an indication of where things are at. 117 million. So I think we're down about 3 million there from the other day, yesterday or whatever. But that's still looking pretty strong there at 117 million. Now, we could see this bridge number change dramatically. We got all those fundamentals I talked about. This will change dramatically. So, $1 billion plus is not out of the ballpark at all. So keep a look out for that. Also, we've got the potential for a new native stable coin coming, right, which is PUSD ALGO. And of course, as you guys know, we have 3 liquidity forks, USDL, PXDC, XDC, and we've got Coast, which is a fiat-backed one. But man, we get an algorithmic coin, PUSD. This is the one most likely at the moment outside maybe PDI Maker Theory that could be coming along. And this is going to be required. This is coming in after the Signum Oracle, which potentially is launching in the next 24 hours. We'll get you confirmation of that as soon as it does. But this could be massive, right? So think of Terra Luna, but without the human intervention, manipulation, and of course, fully DeFi, right? Fully DeFi and with appropriate yields in the platform as well. And this is massive. Now, I've got a link there in the banner that's scrolling along. You can get 90% bonus in that. Definitely check out PUSD Algo on the channel. You can just type it in and you'll be able to find all the videos with the founder, Jacob, the #1 peer-to-peer DeFi dev in the world. And you can get 9% bonus there. If you do over $1,000 inclusive of the referral bonus, you also get up to 2x more for that as well. So that's huge. And of course, recently, Rackham Rochelle, the big sacrificer, has been made aware of this project. So we'll see what Steve Hitson, his front man, says about that term. So there we go. We're hoping to have an updated PUSD algo plan for that stablecoin with Jacob coming up once he's going to give us update plans once Signum Oracle is up and running. And it's running as expected. So hopefully we'll get that within a few weeks after the launch, hopefully. And that's where it is. All right. So that is kind of cool. And let's get into the volumes. $23 million of volume at the moment on Pulsechain, 255,000 transactions. So kind of on the low side of what we've had recently, but we're coming off the weekend, right? So normally a Sunday is kind of quiet there. So probably no surprise with that. What are some of the top tokens at the moment? We've got Fire, Finance and Fire. That's up 83%. It's been around for over a year. Finvesta has been one of the big movers this week. And of course, apparently it's got about 90% of its supply burned, as far as I got told. It is up 14% today at $37. So it's been doing very well indeed. Let's quickly have a look at Finvesta. And look at that chart. Well, you can't argue too much with that chart. Look at that volume coming here. And the chart is just absolutely rocketing. So this is the big star at the moment on the old Pulsechain. And it is a reflection token, if I remember rightly. So let's go quickly double check that because I'm pretty sure it's a reflection token. And apparently it's had a lot of the supply burned off. Let's go launch that. Yeah, 4% tax and 1% reflections there go back to holders. So it's a 5% tax there. So that is Finvesta doing pretty well. That chart's pretty undeniable. And what else we got going there? We got XUSD. This was going to be trying to be an attempt to be a stable coin. It's currently at 0.2 of a penny. We've got a couple, one or two of these at least running around trying to become a stable coin, but that's up 30%. These are very speculative, right? But that is at the moment. What else have we got going there? We've got Up Token, Up X. I think that's related to liquid loans, if I remember rightly. You have to double check that, but that's up 7.7% at the moment. BFS up 4.5%. So those have been around for a while. We've got this soft, tasty donut. Looks like some sort of meme coin thing, up 4% as well. And remember the 5th of December. I think that Wookie was talking about this in Discord yesterday. That's up 1.4%. So that's been around for 6 days. That's definitely come from Pump.tires, that new meme site that Richard Hart has launched there, or at least his team has launched. So kind of cool. Those are the highlights today on the old Pulsechain. That's going to lead us into Titanex. We're going to give an update on Titanex at the end of the show here. Who else has jumped in here? We've got a couple more people. Wookie says B-Ton, the newies must have paid the last ref last night. And Francis in the house there with lots of love for everybody. Nice one, Francis. And Brendan says, Wook, we had roast chook on the menu. Tasted delightful. You guys there talking about sports and food. That's what the guys do. That's what they gotta do. That's the secret to a man's heart. It's sport and food. Is that right? I don't think so. And the lovely lady, of course. All right, we've got Titanex at the moment. So we've turned green. Yeah, finally turned green here, which is kind of cool to see. So Titanex up 5.7% today. Good news there. Let's have a look. We're still trying to find the bottom and move up to wave 3, right? So you can see here on the daily, we've just bounced off 6 zeros, 2,500 on the US price. But as you guys know, I'm really looking at the ETH ratio. Let's see if we've got a better bounce there. We have bounced 10 zeros, 9,000. Wow. So we actually went down to 9,000 here. We're currently at 9,382. That's 10 zeros, 9,382. That's the ratio Titanex to Ethereum there at the moment. So yeah, we crashed out here. This was could have been a big piece of light here. It looked very optimistic to go up to these blue lines, but no, we crashed down and actually went down and tested actually this level down here, which was back on the 20th of January. So have we found the bottom there? Let's go to the weekly here on the old Titanex. It's got to be close, right? It's got to be close. Now, there's a number of reasons why it's probably close, and that is we've still got a higher low here. So if we can hold on to where we are right now, then we are looking better for a lower high here, and we can start up on that wave 3 that everybody is after. But we've got lots of fundamentals coming up in the future, lots of them. So definitely the case. Now, we know that on Titanex that the V1 pool is being turned off, right? The V1 pool is being turned off. So let's have a look at the supply stats. At the moment, we've got liquid supply at 15.6 million US dollars. So there's 66.4 trillion there. Now, circulating supply is 98.3, but the rest of it is stake. So that's stake. That's pretty much off the market. BOT, well, that can move around a lot, but generally that's going to have some stickiness to it, and that is sitting at 6.3 million. But let's just take the liquid amount. That's 17.6. And then we're going to go have a look at the buy and burn. So remember that number, $17.6 million in the buy and burn there. In the liquid supply. That's the value at the moment of Titanex. But if we go to the buy and burn and see how much is sitting in that, well, we go to V1. It's turned off, right? It's not turned on. It's got 12.6 million in there. So that's pretty good. Let's get our calculator out. You guys know we like to do a little bit of math, even if it's basic stuff. It's not tensor calculus, that's for sure. We're not doing tensor calculus. We've got 12.6. Let's just do 12.6. We'll just round that up. And we're going to divide that by the supply stats. So for those that you're worried about the chart being, selling off, remember the buy and burn hasn't even been turned on. And that's intentional, right? That's intentional from Jake Sharp there as he's building out the roadmap for Omnichain. So, and waiting for ETH to rally, right? To rally. It's a bit like a big valuable DAO, I should say. So we're going to divide 12.6 million in buy and burn for V1, divided by, make sure I do this right here because I'm yapping away, divided by 17, let's say 0.6 million. That means that we've got just under 72% of the liquid supply is backed by this big buy and burn, 71.6%. What tokens out there have that? I'm not sure aware of any. So that's massive. And so, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Remember that ratio to the ETH, that's very important too. That changed the relativities as well. 72% pretty much is backed liquid supply backed by, and of course, not everybody in liquid supply is going to be selling, right? You get just a little bit selling. So that value in the buy burn is very powerful. So yeah, don't zone out there. If you hear people zoning out on Titanex because of that chart we just showed, well, just remember it's 72% backed on that liquid by that buy and burn. Pretty cool. And it's turned off. Why is it turned off? Well, it's intentionally turned off. And of course, who else is turned off? The DragonX is turned off as well. DragonX at the moment, ratio to Titanex is 6.64. It's definitely on the low end of what we've seen recently, but that's up 3% today. DragonX buy and burn also turned off. These guys, Eric and Jake, they're cooking at the moment. They're developing a big roadmap, right? So they're cooking that stuff. So let's have a quick look at how much is this sitting in here. Well, we've got $2.6 million is sitting in the buy and burn here. Some of it for Titanex itself. Buy Titanex. That's more. So we talked about 12.6 million in V1. We also got 1.3 million over here. So we're almost up again, right? We're almost up again there to the buy and burn. So 1.3 plus, was it we say 12.6? That puts us up at 13.9. That's pretty crazy. So 13.9 divided by 17.6, which is the liquid supply of Titanex. That gets you into 79% backing there. Now that doesn't include X28, of course, which is Titanex sitting over there. So we must take note of that. But X28 is down here, up 4%. But that has its own buy and burn, right? 50% of the Titanex that goes into X28, which is the omni-chain version, that goes into the buy and burn, right? That goes into buy and burn. Let's have a look at that. That's sitting in as well. Let's see if there's any balance in there. No balance in there at the moment, but that's typically gets used up pretty quickly as well. So remember, if the omni-chain goes really bullish, then we got that V1, we got the DragonX, which is that sitting at 79% backing value of that liquid supply, and then we go X28, and X28 burns 50% of the Titanex goes in there. So that $17.6 million Titanex that goes in there goes down really fast. Whoa, man! Not only does that 79% backing look even better, it goes up dramatically. So as soon as you get some killer apps going over to X28 on base chain and other chains, things happen real fast, which is all sitting in there. These guys know this, and therefore that's why the dials are turned on. Shogun there at the moment, that's going omni-chain as well. So that's going to have a good day in the sun there. That's got the perpetual auctions going. It's burning off its supply every day. It's also got the buy and burn operating. So that's ticking away. And of course, the taxes in the volume as well. The trading volume also go to burn that off and feed the system. And now it's going to go omni-chain. So it's another pump mental for it coming up. So pretty bullish there. Hyper and Hydra, pretty much the supplies are out. All of that. Hydra is just about out. We've got 2 more days till the big candle, about 35 billion. And then we're pretty much out 2 days after that. So Hydra at the end of the weekend, no more minting coming out. And that's got a big buy and burn. So does Hyper, right? And they're both high percentages. So Hydra buy and burn looking pretty good too. So we've got the stats. Let's have a look at stats. So we've got 7.2 trillion, let's say, Hydra worth about $1.1 million. But the buy and burn, of course, is worth 680K. So let's do a quick math on that. And that liquid supply is not going to really go up much because the mining's just about out at the end of the week. So relatively, that's not going to go up a lot. So let's just do some quick numbers here. Let's say, what do we got to say? 680,000 US dollars divided by the liquid supply, which is 1.1 million. 1.1, and that is a I don't know what happened there, but I got the wrong maths. 680 must have had something still in the calculator there, divided by 1136. Now I know I did wrong. That's 60% backing in the buy and burn. All these are just and this is turned down low. So the Hydra buy and burn turned down super low at the moment, right? So this is all intentional. So at the moment it's just humming along there, down pretty low. Look at that, next buy and burn, $14. So all turned down low. 30 minutes, $14 every 30 minutes. So it's turned down, pretty much off. It's pretty much turned off. So what's the team up to, right? So the team up to there. Now, obviously, we've got a big roadmap for Helios there. That's up 35% today. So a big move in Helios. Almost back to 1 Titanex there as well in the ratio. Vault, of course, is got a big roadmap coming. That's going to be pretty exciting to see that. That's got Thunder Vault staking, Ouroboros collateral, and then Bitcoin Genie. So Vault there, and it's also burning off about 650,000 Vault tokens a day. It also covered past 45% of the tokens have been burned. So there we go, 577 million Vault tokens in the market and about 650,000 burned a day. And then you got all these protocols coming to take supply of the market and add additional buy volume and buy and burn volume. So that's looking pretty hot there from the crazy mad scientist DVD. So lots of cool things happening there. We're expecting obviously some stuff coming out of Morpheus with V3 dexes there on base and Pulsechain, and also some good other stuff happening from Titan Farms. Titan Farms at the moment 5.2 cents. We're expecting that to go to base chain and Pulsechain, and then of course Element also is going to go over. So Element is going over, and it's going to bring all its friends. It's going to bring all its friends. Element 369. It's going to even bring its cousin, Baby Dragon X. It's got Baby Dragon X up here. Going to bring that over, and of course it's going to pair all up with Element token over on base chain, and of course it's going to Element then is going to be paired up with Uranus, of course, the big meme coin reflection. This could be the next PDGC over on base chain, but supercharged, right? Because it's got bigger taxes, 12% there, so that could be massive there as well. So lots of good stuff happening across the board here. We've got some nice moves for Ouroboros today. The big lending platform up 27% as well. So we're getting some green movements here over on Titanx. So that's pretty exciting to see. And the US dollar there for USDX Ouroboros, they're sitting pretty stable around $1. Now let's go quickly look at the Ouroboros lending before we get onto the future roadmap. We've got a couple of minutes left in the live stream. So let's log on here. We're going to connect the wallet up here, and let's have a look. All right, let's go, and let's see what happens. What sort of numbers today? I think we're sitting about 1.3 million yesterday. I think it was. So let's go system stats. We're sitting at 1.6 million. Yeah, boy, that's a new all-time high. New all-time high. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. New all-time high. 1.6 million. Wow, that's fantastic. We got the Titan X at 3.92 trillion. That's I think that's is that up? No, it's down slightly. I think it was at 4.4, wasn't it? So add the other 4 trillion in the Ouroboros buy and burn. That's sitting on 4 trillion in buy and burn on Ouroboros. That's crazy. RX token. That's 8 trillion that's gone in here, which is pretty amazing. The Dragon X at 318 billion and still sitting at 558 K there. So not bad. We've got the average collateral health at 226% and the backstop there at 50%. There we go. Now, that's pretty cool. So let's have a quick look. At the moment, what can you mint? You can get a loan. You have to put collateral up. It's Titan X and Dragon X, but they're going to add in RX, which is the platform token, and Volt's coming, and maybe ETH. I think they have to go through the governance vote, but that's, I think, are the ones coming as well. Redemption, as far as I know, has not been activated yet. But there has been 1 or 2 liquidations from my memory. Looks like everybody's safe at the moment. Look at that. They're all safe there at the moment. So there we go. Kind of cool. So that's kind of neat there on that. Now, the one thing, of course, Uranus, we have talked about this. It is up. It is up. Let's have a quick look at this. This has got a, this is basically maybe the next PDGC on base. Like I said, it's going to be paired up with Element 280, 369, Baby Dragon X, and another pair, I think. And of course, then your range is going to be paired with the Element 280 over on base chain. So it's going to add more volume potentially. And because you've got more pairs, you could get MEV bots happening and then create more volume that way. That's kind of the idea. So, and then you got a 12% tax, right? So that's kind of the play there. So we're going to look at the price chart here. We're going to look at the hourly. And actually, let's go to the 4 hourly here on the old chart here. And we're going to log that as well. So this is Uranus there. We have covered this before on the channel. And it's definitely, got this red candle here was 2 whales. 2 whales. There were 18 whales in Uranus. Now there's only 16. So from 18 down to 16. And now the price is recovered back up there. They also turned the buy and burn down. The reason why that is because they have a big buy and burn party coming up, which is going to be pretty cool. That's going to buy a lot of this stuff probably off the market and get the really moving. But at the moment, doing very well. 1.3 X28. Now, it minted at 1-to-1. So it's now 1.3 out. So it's up 30% on the X28. And everyone's been earning a lot of reflections there as well. So it's been pretty cool. I'm not sure if I've got the base chain there, but let's go check out what the reflections are. Just have I got enough time? Yeah, I've got enough time. So let's have a look here. We're going to pick up the have we got the chart? Does it tell me here? I can't remember. Well, it's 3.85% has been burned, 12.78% LP, and 83.37% is liquid. But there's a lot of reflections in there, which is pretty cool. Uranus on base. We've got that. We're going to have a look at that. I think we've got the start of here. and we can quickly look at the reflections. This is basically this 10%. There's a 12% tax, 10% goes to reflections. In other words, you get that back as a holder. So if you just sit back, and it's going to be pretty cool. Now, over on PDC, which is one of the top reflection tokens on Pulsechain, that has a 5% tax. It's got 12%. It's a little different. Now, let's get rid of that. Let's go to the token, and let's have a look at the contract, and let's go have a look at the read only, and we're going to scroll down and have a look at the reflections. So 23.7 billion Uranus have been given back to holders. 10% of all the volume goes through. So that volume is going to get lifted up, arguably, when Element 280 go over to base chain. That's coming up. And also there's going to be a big buy and burn operating, which is going to be a buy and burn party. Now, buy and burn has gone over 30 billion. Isn't that awesome? So 23.7 billion in reflections goes back to existing holders, and 30.3 billion in burn tokens. So the supply has gone down by 30.3 billion, which is pretty cool. So the supply was at 786 billion, just over that. It's now at 756. So that's down over 30 billion there, which is pretty awesome. Now holders too has gone up. So holders over the last, I think it's been about 6 days or so, that has gone up about 45 holders or more, about 45. So not bad there as well. So that is Uranus. I'll let you check that out if you want to check it out. And that is the website. It is on base chain. Just remember that. So it's not Pulsechain or Ethereum. It is on base chain. You can buy X28, which is what you need. You need to buy X28. You can buy it with, I think, over there as well. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, or you can buy it on Ethereum and bridge it over through the X28 app. All right, so that is kind of cool. Over in Uranus, we were looking out for that. Will it be the next PDC? Looking forward to some of those fundamentals coming up, like I say, paired up with the new peers and the buy and burn party. That's going to be fun. All right, and of course, maybe Tightneck starts rolling as well, and all starts rolling together. So that's kind of cool. Let's see what's coming up in the future. Well, we've got the next project coming up in the Tightneck ecosystem is Wyvernex. That's going to benefit the Tink farms, which is going to be really useful for lifting incentives and capital raising. That's launching in 5 days and 10 hours. So that's ticking down. There's a launch there. And then, of course, another big one I'm looking forward to, as you guys know, really big, is Genie, Bitcoin Genie from the mad side of Stevie D, leading DeFi 3.0 in the world, I would say. He really is pretty crazily good at tokenomics. And then we're going to get into Ouroboros there. Some updates apparently from influencer Cryptographics, one of the bigger influencers in Pulsechain Tightnex. And he's done some updates to Taurus, so that's on his live stream today. If you haven't checked it out, go check out Cryptographics at the Taurus there. Now, if you want to check out some of these projects that I've been talking about, get into Tightnex Hub, and also you can join Strategy Club in the Discord, and which has now been renamed, of course, the Crypto Night Show. So definitely get in on that. That is the link there to Tightnex Hub. And that is the link there to Uranus 28, which is maybe the next PDC. Obviously speculative, and do your due diligence, all that good stuff. We got any more comments in the chat? Yeah, let's have a look. We're going to get back up to here. We've got some other comments. Wookie says Uranus is looking tasty today. Hex to Mars says 2 more weeks, which is a famous one there. 2 more weeks for everything. Tortoise Johnny, what's up, sweet man? Hey, Tortoise Johnny, good to see you in the house. Big shout outs. And we've got Gal in there as well. Yo. Good to see you, Gal. Hope you're doing good there too. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Our Discord links are in the video description. Any of the referral bonuses are in the description as well, like PUSD ALGO. If you're in South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, you can use the Easy Crypto link there. It's fantastic, from fiat to crypto and back again. So it's a really good bridge, particularly for New Zealand. So check that out. Links in the video description there. South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, really cool. And Easy Crypto, I believe, is listed on the New Zealand stock market as well. So that's kind of neat. All right, so that is that. I think that's it for the show. I think we're going to wrap up there. What a show there. And that's our first show that we've done under the new brand, the Crypto Night Show. And of course, I'm your host, Superman. Hope you guys enjoy that. Now, I'll be doing some more streams later today on different topics. So maybe crypto, maybe politics, maybe sports, something like that. It's going to be good. We're going to be doing a lot more sports, particularly. A lot more politics and economics and things like that. So that's going to be a lot of fun to cover those. So I look forward to that. All right. Enjoy. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend or the beginning of the week, depending where you live at the world. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now. Take care.